Mira and HarlequinAudio present Don't Open the Door, a novel by Allison Brennan, performed by Amy Mcfadden. There are few people who embody friendship, honor, and humor as Bill Saraceno, a good friend of the Brennan family, and especially of Dan. Together, they could keep anyone laughing all night. Now, Bill is keeping the angels in good humor with his wit and charm. Bill will be missed by all who were lucky enough to know him. Requiescat in pace. Monday. 1. Tommy Granger awoke with a start, the remnants of a disturbing dream fading as he struggled under his twisted, sweat-soaked sheets. As it was with most nightmares, at least for him, he didn't remember details. A vague sense that he'd been at the office, but Regan was still a marshal. They were suited up in full gear, preparing to track a fugitive, but as dreams were tricky, he was then alone in the woods at night, deep in the Shenandoah National Park, tracking a predator who was elusive and dangerous, his heart racing, pounding, an unfamiliar feeling because his training taught him to keep his fear in check. The break of a branch behind him, and he was awake, not knowing if the sound was in his head or in his yard. He fought to untangle himself from his bedding as he sat up, rubbing his bare feet on thick carpet, grounding himself. The panic was brief, fleeting. Training and control were hard to break, even in a deep sleep. The faint numbers of his bedside clock told him it was 4:51 a.m. His alarm was set for 5:30, but he always woke a few minutes before then, as if his body was trained to anticipate the irritating buzz. He hit the off button. He had a busy day. He was finally prepared to share with his office his off-book investigation into the murder of Chase Warwick. It was all about money, Tommy thought with disgust as he pushed himself out of bed. Money and greed and what corrupt men were willing to do to keep their secrets buried. The killer may have been apprehended, but Adam Hannigan's motives had never sat well with Tommy. And then Hannigan was dead, and the case closed. He paused at his bedroom window. The air was still, but he couldn't get the sound of a cracking branch out of his mind. It had sounded crisp, sharp, real. But he saw nothing out front, no jogger, no passing car, still too early for Mrs. Benson down the street to be walking her friendly golden retrievers, or for Richie Luna, his neighbor to the east, to leave for work, though he noted the faint light in the kitchen, signaling that Richie, like Tommy, was an early riser. Dreams and nightmares were deceiving, which was why he was having a hard time shaking this one. The hot water cleared the remnants of fog from his brain. He shaved, dressed, the morning ritual comforting. Downstairs, he brewed a pot of coffee and stared out the large kitchen window into the side yard, running through his head how he was going to lay out the case to Charlie and then his boss. Knowing why Chase Warwick had died was only one piece of the puzzle. He knew Adam Hannigan, the man arrested for murder, was only a pawn, used or hired, but Tommy couldn't prove who he suspected was behind everything. If Tommy could convince his boss that he was onto something, that the murder of Chase Warwick was a small piece of a bigger conspiracy, they would then be up against high-priced lawyers, big-name corporations, and even their own government. Bring it on, he thought. He was itching for a fight, itching to get to the bottom of this conspiracy. He'd only recently realized that he couldn't do it alone anymore. There was information he couldn't access without a warrant. Regan deserved to know why her son was dead. Chase deserved justice for his murder, and those responsible must pay for their crimes. And maybe, just maybe, Regan would come back. Don't be a fool. She made it clear she was done with the Marshal service, that she wasn't going to return to duty, that she wanted to be with her friends.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?